Chef Tony Matassa from BBQGuys.com. Today I'm going to be making a fire-roasted vegetable and prosciutto ham lasagna in this beautiful, large, cast-iron roasting pan. The reason I'll be using this is because of how well the cast iron is going to distribute the heat. It's going to be a very evenly cooked lasagna. It should turn out beautiful. I mean, the time will tell, but it should turn out beautiful. I'll be cooking it today on this Primo XL Oval. And this is one of the things that the Primo is excellent for. Because of the size of this, the way this lasagna pan goes, if you were going to cook a couple of those, I don't know how large your family is, but I'm Italian and we have like 500 people in my family or whatever, so you would have to cook maybe 10 of those just for appetizers. But if you wanted to cook a couple of those in a regular style Kamado, you probably couldn't because you wouldn't be able to close the lid. So that's the good thing about the Primo. That, and also you could cook this and cook something on the side for whoever doesn't want to eat incredible lasagna. I don't know who would want not to eat it, but you know. Anyway, let's get started. All you need, I say all you need, it's a huge list, but it's good. You need a whole eggplant, either one whole large or two small, a whole red bell pepper and a half of a green, 2 portobello mushrooms, planked, a half of a purple onion. You want to leave the skin on because we're going to fire roast this. 2 carrots, just peeled for now. 2 zucchini and 2 squash, planked also. And by planked, I mean cut into about 1/2 inch planks like that. To begin, we'll do a butter baste for this. The way that works is you'll take 1/4 cup of olive oil, extra virgin preferably, and add it to a stick of butter. 2 cloves of finely minced garlic. You're going to stir this around, and depending on where you're cooking and what you're cooking on, you want to melt this together so that the garlic will infuse the oil. I'm going to put mine on the Kamado. A minute or two, stir it around a little bit, and we'll have a buttery base that will go on all the vegetables before we fire roast them so that we can get them in our lasagna. Once your garlic infused butter and olive oil blend is ready, all you have to do is grab a basting brush. For something buttery like this, I prefer a natural bristle brush, but use whatever kind you would like. And give everything a really good basting. Remember, there are 2 sides to your vegetables, so don't just baste one side. You give all your vegetables a good basting, and then you'll sprinkle them liberally with sea salt and fresh ground cracked pepper. And your bell peppers, you want to go ahead and butter them up on the inside as well. Now it's time to very liberally salt everything with coarse sea salt and fresh black pepper. It's time to get all these veggies on the grill. Hope you have your grill fired up to about somewhere between 550 and 650. There you go, all but about 2 planks. I flipped everything over for the first time at about 5 minutes, and it's been about another 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm cooking in the Primo extra large oval at about 650, almost 700 degrees, just to give you some range for how long this will take you. This stuff's going to taste great. After you've allowed your vegetables to cool for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot your hands can handle, all you have to do is get them over to your cutting board. And you're going to dice everything up at about a 1/2 inch dice, something like that. As you finish dicing all your vegetables, the real fun is about to begin. Now you need to find something big enough that you can blend all of your vegetables, your prosciutto, half of your fresh mozzarella, and 2 tablespoons of basil together. I prefer to just use the pan that I use to carry over because I'm able to spread it out more and make sure that everything's very well blended, but use whatever you would like. All the prosciutto. This is 1/2 pound of prosciutto, diced into 1.5 inch squares, roughly. I mean, you don't have to be perfect. It's going to be kind of rustic. I mean, that's part of the appeal to this dish. Now, after that, You can use whatever you'd like. I find that a nice pair of clean hands, which I always make sure to wash before I do something like this, is the best method. Your prosciutto may stick together a little bit, so you just have to kind of pull it apart and make sure it's good. Once you have it decently blended, before you continue on, now that everything's sort of incorporated, you'll want to go ahead and grab, as I was saying, about half, it would be perfect, but about half of your diced mozzarella. You want it to be spread out in there as well. We're going to save the other half to go on top of everything when we're done. When your prosciutto, mozzarella, and vegetables are all well blended, you want to combine 2 cups of your Alfredo sauce and about 6 to 8 cups. I mean, it really just depends. It depends on if you're going to be using this exact roasting pan. Just like the time will depend on which grill you use, so I can't be exact on it, but about 6 to 8 cups. Pour that in there. You want to blend both of these together pretty well, and you need to have about, again, depending on what unit you're going to use, about 15 to 20 no boil pasta lasagna noodles. You want the kind that cook basically in the sauce, in the oven, or on the grill. Unless you feel like boiling yours, then go for it. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom. Just going to spread it out about 1/4 inches worth. Nothing special. You just don't want your noodles to stick down there. And of course, you want to have a little sauce on the bottom of when you go to eat your lasagna. You want to lay your lasagna noodles out, cover the bottom. If you have something where the ovals come around, just break some. Well, it depends on, you know. I like to break it and fill everywhere with a little. I'd rather have a little extra noodle than no noodle at all, but that's just my preference. Whatever yours is, go for it. This should be the fun part, and it's certainly not rocket science. So once you begin to lay it out, you just want to make sure you have pretty good even coverage over everything. There you go. After that, you just lay in another set of noodles. At this point, you should have 2 layers of the vegetable cheese prosciutto mix and 3 layers of noodles. And we're going to go ahead and bring it home now. You want to take the rest of your sauce. You need about 1/2 cup of fresh shredded Parmesan cheese that we're going to top this with. Go for a whole cup if you're a big fan. It doesn't really matter. Just putting a little bit to give it a little extra life. You'll also take the rest of your fresh mozzarella, little cubes, spread them out. Since all the vegetables are already pre-cooked and I don't want to have them mushy and overcooked, I'm going to cook without the lid on because it only needs to go for about 30 minutes or so. So we'll get it on the grill just as it is. It's been 35 minutes and I can't wait any longer. It smells like walking into my grandparents' house at Christmas time. You can smell all the fresh cheese and the tomato sauce. After you pull the lasagna off the grill, you want to make sure to leave the top off and let it cool for between 10 and 20 minutes so that everything can cool down a little bit, as I said, but also to kind of congeal so when you cut your squares, it doesn't go sliding all over the place. That wouldn't be a good lasagna. I hope you enjoyed this today. I know I enjoyed having you. I have some lasagna to cut. I really need to get into this. Thanks for watching. Remember, at BBQGuys.com, we smoke the competition.